Maybe you just graduated college and you're looking to get into tech sales, break into tech sales as an SDR. Maybe you're somebody who's been in tech sales for some time now, 5+ years of experience as an account executive, and you're looking to pivot, change roles, and get into a new company. Hopefully, you both have a tech sales interview coming up that you want to crush. If that sounds like you, this video is for you. Because in this video, I'm going to walk through everything, starting at how do you get interviews with hiring managers at your target companies? 2, what do you do throughout that interview process to impress and land the 6-figure offers you deserve? And lots of secret tactics no one else is talking about on YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. None of these sales influencers are talking about these tactics that actually help you close interviews and land offers. But first, if you don't get this right, you are screwed. And the right is picking the right targets. Sorry to talk crap on these sales influencers, but no one on TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube will tell you this. All they're going to say is, in order to be successful in tech sales, the number one factor comes down to your skill set and your talent level. It's complete BS. The number one factor, if you will be successful in this industry and last a long time and build a career here, is the company you work at and the product you sell. That is it. Now, I'm not focusing on how to find and pick the right targets in this video. Now, this is the foundation of your success. And the reason I'm not focusing on it is because 2 weeks ago, I posted a video on this YouTube channel, 25 minutes long, very detailed and specific about what you need to do step by step to vet companies to make sure if you get an offer, you're set up for success. You need to get this right. If you don't, you will not last. You will be screwed. And this is a you problem, not a company problem. You are in complete control of the company you work at. Now that we got that out of the way, once you have your 10 to 20 targets, step number 1, what are you going to do to get that interview set up? It's all about prospecting, finding the right or potential hiring managers and sales leadership that could hire you. And then what are you going to do to get their attention and stand out in a unique way? Because everybody, guys, is just lazily, and they think it's productive, applying online, LinkedIn, on the company website. It's a black hole. That is not how it gets done. Optics matter, and how you get an interview conversation set up matters greatly to a hiring manager. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes here. 2 months ago, I was working at IBM. I'm no longer at IBM. I loved my time at IBM. It was absolutely amazing. I had no desire or plans to leave the company or my position, but they brought us in and they said, hey, Matt and team, good news, you're keeping your job. Bad news, if you want to keep, you have to move to Austin, Texas. If you don't know, you're new here, I'm from Philadelphia. I'm not going to move for a job. My friends and family are here. I'm never going to move for a sales role. I don't care how great it is. So that put me in the job market. So everything I talk about in this video, I did. I put my list together based on criteria that's important to me. I came up with 10 to 20 companies that I would like to work at, and Pure Storage was at the top of my list. Here's what I did, exactly what I did. You're going to see it to get an interview set up. Step number 1, I went to ChatGPT. I want to work as an account executive at Pure Storage. Can't spell. Who would be first line manager? What's their title? Before I hit enter, you might be thinking, this seems like a very unnecessary step. Not necessarily. Because in tech, lots of tech companies think they're cute and have different titles for different roles. It's not uniform across the board. It's not uniform across the industry. So this is just saving me a step from a LinkedIn search perspective. Let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. District manager. Okay. All right, we're going to go into LinkedIn, and this is exactly what I did. Pure Storage. People. District manager. So we have 6,000 people at Pure Storage. Let's see what this brings it down to. 137. That's still a lot. Let's see if we got Pennsylvania here. All right, cool. So there's 6 district managers in PA. I live in PA. So one of these guys is going to be my target. Enterprise, no. Ryan. Boom. Ryan was the guy. So here's what I did with Ryan. I sent Ryan a blank connection request. After he accepted my connection request, I sent him this video. Hey, Ryan, I don't know if you're going to like this very much, but on Friday, I think it was Friday or Saturday, me and my girlfriend, we were drinking beer, we were eating pizza, all while watching Netflix. I just came across your most recent post. I thought it was pretty clever. And a couple other of your posts are great too. But the reason for the video message, I didn't notice any job openings or postings at Pure in the Philadelphia market. I was curious, whose like radar should I be getting on at Pure Storage in the event, you know, an opening pops up on one of the Philadelphia teams to see if I might be a fit to join the team at some point in the future. I'm a huge fan of Pure. The G2 score is tremendous. The RepView score, I think it's like one of the best scores for a public company on RepView. So keep up the LinkedIn posts. I'll continue to follow them, but any sort of advice or direction you could provide a Philly guy like me would be appreciated. Thanks a lot, Ryan. Appreciate it. There you go, guys. Nothing crazy, not rehearsed whatsoever, not perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. In fact, if you screw up a little bit, it'll convert better. So I sent this at 11:23. He got back to me at 2:12 and said, Hi, Matt. Screwing my name up. Thanks for reaching out. He heads up the commercial team. Brian heads up the enterprise team. Wrapping up the fiscal, he might have an opening in the near future. Keep your eyes peeled. Cool. So he's giving me direction, and I need or wanted to get into the commercial team as a mid-market AE. He's my guy. He lives in Philadelphia. We're the Philadelphia area. So I came back and said, awesome. Glad to hear you're head up the commercial team. Thanks for the heads up. Good luck with the end of the fiscal. I'll stay on the radar. And then I sent him this. P.S. I think this is much better than a boring resume. This is a secret tactic that I don't know a single person has ever sent this to a hiring manager except for me. I sent him this website. It is my brag book. So on the homepage here, just a bit about me and my situation. References, they include past managers, customers I sold to, business partners, coworkers, and an about me section so somebody like Ryan could get to know me on a personal level outside of work. Past performance. So these are screenshots verifying my past performance against my quota, against my peers at IBM across the last 3 years. I have screenshots breaking down the math of my numbers, the type of deals I was closing, any awards I received at IBM. And then this is my favorite section, guys. Watch me sell. So a hiring manager, a VP of sales, can click on this video here and watch me run a discovery call. Watch me run a demo. Watch me run a sales presentation in front of 20 people on an IT advisory board. The reason I put this together, guys, is we salespeople are notorious for being big talkers, and it's easy for us to sell ourselves and BS our way through a sales interview. Next thing you know, we get that offer, and it comes time to sell and run conversations with executives and close deals, and we don't have what it takes to be successful. We just BS'd our way through an interview. So the purpose of this website here, and I say it here, is to de-risk me as a potential hire. And I also include a 30, 60, 90-day plan as well in terms of what I would do to get up to speed in a new role. Nobody is doing this. And you might be thinking, well, I don't have screenshots of past performance. I don't have videos of discovery demo calls that I could show a VP of sales, a district manager at Pure Storage. That's okay. No worries whatsoever. You could still create something like this. And again, I actually didn't mention this yet. This was completely free. Podia is not sponsoring this video. They have no idea who the heck I am, nor do they care whatsoever. But this is free to build. It took me 2 hours to build. But you could still create this, have an about section, have references, have a sales plan, have a prospecting plan, have examples of a cold call script, have maybe videos of you role-playing cold calls. It's not so much the content. It's the fact that you did something different and didn't just send a boring email. And he was impressed. So Ryan came back and he said, I like the creative approach. Come back to me with a video of why you want to work at Pure, which I created a very detailed video scanning their 10K report, why Pure, why I want to work for him specifically based on research I did on him and my why in terms of why I got into sales. He liked it. I had a 45-minute conversation with him. I had a 45-minute conversation with someone in the HR department. And actually, sadly, that's as far as I made it. So Maybe I have to brush up on my interview skills. However, it got the interview, and that's the purpose of this part of the video. Somebody else I want to point out, let's go into messages here. Danielle. Just to give you guys another video idea. So I connected with her, first free connection. Hey, Danielle, happy Tuesday. Reason for the LinkedIn video message. I actually had no idea who Amrock Security was until yesterday. I was on RepView and I saw your scores, read the reviews, watched some of the YouTube videos, then I went to Google and saw the positive reviews from customers. It seems like you guys are doing some really cool things, and it seems like one of the better places to work in sales. It doesn't look like you guys have any openings in the Philadelphia market, which is where I sit, and I saw you're in Philadelphia as well. What's the best way to stay in touch with someone like you in the event something does pop up in the Philadelphia market to see if there might be a fit here? Danielle, regardless, thank you for watching this video. Have a great Tuesday. Thanks a lot, Danielle. Have a good one. There you go, guys. Very similar message to what I sent to Ryan, and I'm basically saying in it, hey, listen, I don't see any job openings on the website, on LinkedIn, but I'm just looking to make a connection with you. That way, if something changes in the future and an opening pops up, you know me, and maybe we could have a conversation. That's all it is. I'm not targeting companies that only have job openings. And I talk about that in the video I started that I posted 2 weeks ago. I'm targeting companies I want to work at for reasons that are important to me, regardless if they have an opening or not. Danielle came back and said, thanks for the video. It was refreshing. You know why it was refreshing? Because Danielle has probably, I almost can guarantee, never received a video email like this from a candidate. She didn't have a job opening, as you could see here, but she knows who I am. She likes me. And if something pops up in the future and I see that, I could go right into the DMs and get an interview conversation set up like that. How you get a conversation set up matters. And this is my favorite way. Connect, first through connection, connect with them on LinkedIn, send a video message. It's just that simple. Not all that hard. And then again, the top secret tip, create a brag book. All right. So we got the interview conversation set up. Now what? Now this Reddit post here is not meant to scare you guys. What it's meant to do is just make sure you're prepared for what is about to happen to you, is probably the best way to put it. Once you get into an interview process in tech sales interviews are completely out of control. 6, 7, 8 rounds, reference checks, presentations, more reference checks, a lot of back and forth. The amount of work you have to do and put in to getting a job in tech sales now is absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to focus on that. Just wanted to make sure you're prepared for it. Now, there are 4 core steps to any tech sales interview. Phone screening with HR, hiring manager. Step number 3 is going to be some sort of role play presentation. And step number 4 is going to be an interview conversation with someone in sales leadership, a CRO, a VP of sales. The rest of this video, I'm going to talk through how to crush each of these steps. All right. We got the phone screening with HR. What are you going to do now? Step number 1, before the interview, send this email. Just copy this email. Nothing crazy. You don't have to customize anything with it. What this does, it does a few things. Number 1, it shows that you're prepared to have a conversation. Number 2, it shows that you're going to lead the conversation. And number 3, probably most importantly, it shows that you're excited about the opportunity. Little things like this go a long way, and you're going to send an email like this, and I'll walk through a couple other examples. You're going to send an email like this before every single interview conversation. I don't care how little or minute that conversation might be to you, you're sending something like this to set the stage for the conversation. What to expect? Nothing crazy, guys. This is not a conversation you stress about whatsoever. It's very easy. They're going to walk through the basics of the role, benefits, make sure you guys are on the same page in terms of the pay, base salary, OT, on-target earnings, all that good stuff. It's maybe 30 minutes. I've had quite a few HR recruiting conversations that were 15 minutes. Nothing to stress about whatsoever. All they're looking for, are you a fit? Every time a company has a job opening, they sit down with the VP of sales and the direct first-line hiring manager, and they come up with, what are we looking for in the ideal hire? Maybe it's, we're looking for people who worked at ServiceNow in the past, because ServiceNow employees do quite well ramping up. They ramp up quickly at our company. Those are the type of things they're going to build out. Are you truly interested in the role? This is very important, guys. And somebody in HR, anybody you're meeting with, can tell right away, is Matt really interested in the role, or is he just interviewing to get a job? And they're going to tell based on how specific and detailed your answers are to their questions. And we're going to talk about those questions in a second. And then, are you interested in the person interviewing you? Yes, they work in HR. Yes, they work in recruiting. But you should do some research on these people and come up with questions specific for them. Chris, notice you used to work at ServiceNow. Now you're working at Pure Storage. You've been in the recruiting department for the past 4 years. Curious, what motivated you to leave ServiceNow for Pure Storage? Asking specific questions about them goes a long way. And are you likable, guys? I mean, it's obvious. If you're not likable, you're not going to move forward. Great. It's interview time. You hop on the Zoom. Most people, after they exchange some pleasantries with whoever it is in the interview process, they're going to sit back, relax, and wait for the interviewer to ask the first question. That's not what me and you were doing. That is not how you start a sales interview. This is a sales interview. You're a salesperson selling yourself the product. Every salesperson, when they're leading a sales conversation, they take the lead, they take control of that conversation. The same holds true in an interview. Instead of sitting back, say something or ask something as simple as this. Chris, glad we were able to connect. Would it be helpful, to get the conversation going if I walk you through what I've been up to the past 4 to 5 years and share why I'm interested in working at your company? It's the best way to start a sales interview. What this does, it does a few things. Number one, it shows you're confident. 2, it shows you're prepared. 3, it saves them from asking the 2 questions you get asked in every interview. Tell me about yourself and why do you want to work at our company? And it puts you in the driver's seat and the interviewer in the passenger seat. This is the frame you want to be in, no matter what step in the interview process you are in. You are driving the car. The interviewer is in the passenger seat. And because it's a sales interview, they like this. Now, like I said, tell me about yourself and why do you want to work here? These questions will be asked. They are the 2 most popular questions. They will be asked multiple times, whether directly or indirectly throughout the interview process. This is how to answer them. So currently, Amanda, I am an account executive at IBM. I've been here the last 3.5, nearly 4 years. It's the best job I've ever had. It's kind of weird. I live in Philadelphia. That's where our office is. But my territory is out in California. So I head up any and all accounts in the state of California. I have a $6 million quota. That quota consists of all revenue. So any renewals, expansion opportunities, most importantly, net new logos. So a typical day for me, Amanda, looks like this: 2 to 3 sales calls a day. A mix between discovery calls, demos, pilots, proof of concepts for our larger customers. There's quite a bit of account reviews as well to uncover if there's any challenges a customer might have, where features they don't have access to can help solve those challenges to expand the account. And then there's also some technical support calls sprinkled in there as well. My sales performance the last 3 years has looked like this. In 2022, I finished at 113%. That was my first year in the seat. In 2023, I finished at 121%. And in 2024, we're gonna see how things shake out. It's either gonna be between 118 or 125%. Hopefully it's 125%, obviously. And this is the best job I've ever had. I wanna pause there. Where would you like to go deeper with questions? So I want to kick it back to Amanda. You want to keep your answer concise. Like if I were to speak any longer than that, I think I would lose you.
Yeah.
Do you think that was like a good length?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Without getting into too much detail on certain things. Yeah,
okay.
I think that's good.
So you want to keep it concise. Don't talk forever. You want to make sure it's relevant. And then you want to be enthusiastic in your delivery. And then most importantly, you want to be impactful. So sprinkle in a couple, whether it was a big win or where you were at a quota. Obviously, we're going to get into quota later in this video and talk you through what that looks like. And then it's key, you don't want this to be an interrogation, you want it to be a conversation. So you want to ask a question after you answer their question. My question was where you want to go deeper with questions you could ask: to what degree is this resonating for this specific role? How does this compare to what you're looking for in the role? How does my day-to-day compare to the day-to-day of this role? Again, conversation, not an interrogation. And the second question, outside of tell me what your experience looks like or walk me through your resume, that you're always going to get, and you need a very detailed, specific answer, is why do you want to work for this specific company? Most people screw this up all the time, and I have a two-step formula that I follow to answer this question. Number one, you want to share what your criteria looks like for your ideal employer in your next role. And number two, you want to share how that employer, how the interviewer fits that criteria. Awesome, great question, Amanda. Let me just take a step back and walk you through the criteria that's driving my decision, and then I could share how you and your team and your company fits in with that criteria. So you might not like this part of the answer, but I don't really care what product I sell. It could be MarTech, DevOps, data and AI. I don't really care as long as that product is a must-have product, not a nice-to-have product. One of the top, if not the top product in its product category, a sales leader who's a sales coach first, a sales manager second, and a company where, Amanda, at least 40% of the current account executives at the company have been there at least 2 years, and at least 40% of the account executives who left the company to go somewhere else stayed at least 2 years. Doing some research on you guys, speaking specifically to the tenure, I know that 48% of your current account executives have been at seat at least 2 years, and 70% of the account executives who left the company, left your company, were there at least 2 years. So that tells me that you guys are a sales-focused company. Your tenure is much, much stronger than most. I was on G2. I think you folks have it's like 10,000 total reviews. I read probably 100, 150 of those reviews. You folks are selling a must-have, not a nice-to-have product. It's the top product in its product category compared to a couple of your competitors. You know, you have Dell, HP, NetApp. That looks great. I was able to scan your 10K report, and a few things stuck out to me in terms of you folks being a sales-focused organization. We could talk about that further in a minute. And actually, I was able to have a couple conversations with folks who worked for you specifically, Amanda, that left, and they spoke very highly of you and did mention that you are a sales coach first and a sales manager second. So I'll be interested to see if that holds true throughout the conversation, and to see if there might be a fit here. How was
Very
that?
detailed.
Very detailed.
Very detailed. You did your research.
Very detailed, because most people will just say, oh, I know your company culture is great, or, I know you guys pay well. I think it looks great for you if you could, what is your specific criteria? For me, I share what that specific criteria is, and then share how that company fits that criteria. And then you want to make it known that, hey, I'm interested throughout the conversation to really verify if you fit my criteria or not. And that's going to put you in the frame that this is a two-way street, not a one-way street. I know you're interviewing me, but I'm interviewing you too. So you want to make sure with why do you want to work for this company, that your answer is super detailed, specific, and well-researched, because no one else is doing something like that. All right, cool. Other questions you could expect from an HR person, you're going to get 2 to 3, guys, nothing crazy. 2 to 3 behavioral interview questions. They start with the phrase, tell me about a time when. Tell me about your favorite sales win. Tell me about a big mistake you made in a deal and how you recovered. Those are probably the 2 most popular questions I have received from HR folks, thinking back to the last maybe 5 to 7 HR interviews I've had in tech sales. Nothing crazy. Have a few stories, strong stories prepared around wins and failures. Nothing crazy whatsoever. In terms of questions you should be asking, I talked a few about these, or shared a few of them earlier in the video. Ask questions about the role. You want to get a sense, guys, why is the position open? Is it open because this is a brand new position that they just built out? Is it open because somebody was fired because they didn't perform? Why is the position open? You want to get a sense of why the position is open from everybody you speak with throughout the interview process. Because if the recruiter's saying one thing, the VP of sales is saying a different thing, and the hiring manager is saying a completely different thing, it's a red flag. Ask questions around compensation and benefits to make sure if you continue in the interview process, you're not wasting your time. And we're going to talk about what average salary and OT looks like at the end of this video. So if that's important to you, stick around for negotiation purposes. And then ask questions about the interview process. You have to ask questions about the interview process. Chris, can you walk me through, like, after this conversation, what does the typical interview process look like? And if you don't mind me asking, like, what are some things I could be doing to stand out and best prepare so I put my best self forward? Best foot forward. Best self forward. Best foot forward. Get some intel. These people, HR folks, phone screening HR, they want to see you succeed. They want to see you get the job because they get paid off this stuff. And then, most importantly, the most important question that you will ask during any interview. Based on our conversation, do you have any hesitations or objections that would prevent you from moving me forward in the process? It's a sales interview. You need to close out that conversation. You cannot leave things up to chance and just say, hey, I'll just wait to hear back from you. No. This is the only way to close out a sales conversation or a sales interview, especially with someone in HR, hiring manager, VP of sales, whoever it is. Based on our conversation, do you have any hesitations, any objections that would prevent you from moving me forward in the process? This does a couple things. Number one, it closes the interview out the right way. They're looking to see you do this. And number two, if they do have any hesitations, they do have any objections to moving you forward, they can now verbalize them. You now know what they are. You didn't before asking this question, and you can address them head on. When I interviewed at Pure Storage, I ended my HR interview with this question. And the recruiter came back and said, I have no hesitations. You're moving forward. Now, I actually didn't. So this was I don't know what happened. You're moving forward. I was really impressed with the conversation. And you'd be surprised. I interview people with 10, 20 years of experience. I could see you only have about 7 to 8. And they don't even close out the conversation this way. Kudos to you. You have to close out the interview asking a question like this. And I'll provide a couple more examples further in this video. Now, after the interview, send an email like this. Simple thank you email with sorry guys, 2 key takeaways. Notes that you took down based on the role, based on the company that you really like to hear during that conversation. That way it's not just generic like every other salesperson. Perfect. Step number 2. This is the money round. This is the money round. Meeting with the hiring manager. You can impress the hiring manager before you get the interview set up. As you can see, Chris here, he set a detailed sales plan. And this set the stage for an interview. And I'm pretty sure he landed a job offer for this interview. I'm going to walk through the sales plan template. And you could get access to this. It's completely free. Link in the description. Why you want to work at the company, just come up with 3 bullet points of why you want to work at the company. 52% of AEs promoted from SDR. That could be a good selling point for you if you're looking to break into tech sales and SDR. You want to see, is the company promoting? Come up with a competitive landscape. You guys can just have ChatGPT help you with this stuff. The math behind quota and pipeline. Now, as you can see here, it's under construction. But if you could get any sort of intel from current SDRs working at the company in terms of what the quota looks like, do it. KPIs, what that looks like. Target market, company website, case studies, ChatGPT. Prospecting plan. You're going to come up with a cold call messaging framework. Cold email example sent to a real prospect you found on LinkedIn that fits their ICP. Your LinkedIn prospecting strategy. Most of the work here, guys, as you could see, is already done for you at a 30, 60, 90. The point, just like the brag book, the point isn't what's in this. The point is you went out of your way proactively. They didn't ask for this, and you did it unprovokingly. Guys, I can't tell you how many people have sent, and I've done this for every interview, have sent a sales I can't talk today. A sales plan to a hiring manager and impress them, and it set the stage for the conversation. It put you in control of the conversation because all they wanted to talk about was the sales plan. Send this, secret tactic, send this before your interviews. Now, how you send it is you could either send it via email, or this is a video I sent to Carl, who was my hiring manager at IBM. Hey, Carl, happy Friday. Reason for the LinkedIn video message. Wanted to simply thank you for your flexibility next week. I know probably the last thing you want to do on a Monday morning at 7 a.m. is an interview, but I know my schedule's a bit tough being in the office every single day, so thank you for your flexibility. I appreciate it. Looking forward to learning more about you, your team, what you're looking for in your ideal candidates to see if there might be a potential fit to join your team. But thank you for your flexibility. I did watch a demo of the product on YouTube by one of your account executives. I think he's out of Utah, Will Scott. It's about 20 minutes long, so I got an idea of the product. But if there's anything else I could do, or you think I should do, to better prepare myself for a conversation on Monday at 7 a.m., let me know, and I'll make it happen over the weekend. But looking forward to it. Have a great Friday, great weekend. I will see you first thing on Monday morning. Thanks a lot, Carl. Have a good one. Wow, I was cringing during that video. I think I was like, I don't know why I was talking like that. But anyway, it worked. And all I would do here, guys, is right below this video, I would include an attachment to the sales plan. You can do this via LinkedIn or email, whatever works better. As you can see here, huge fan of video messaging. Thanks for sending this over. And during our interview, we talked about this a lot during that conversation. Little things like this. It's all about the little things. Go a long way. Or you could send an email to a hiring manager like this one. Now, this email is long, but it's impressive. Communicates the point in an instant. So he has all of his stats right here. He has 2 quotes from a CRO and a VP of sales that he previously worked under. And it's just detailed, it's specific, unique, and different. Things like this, guys, you gotta go out all out for these tech sales interviews. There's thousands of people interviewing. By sending an email like this, killer. Absolutely killer. So I would definitely copy this strategy going forward. I've never sent something like this. I've just sent my brag book, but I'm going to be leveraging this email here for future job opportunities. All right, cool. What to expect and what they're looking for. This interview, as I mentioned, is key. It is the money round. It's the most important interview throughout the interview process. It's going to be 60 minutes long, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. And what they're looking for is the 2 C's and a P. Are you confident? Quite frankly, you might not have any sales experience, but if you come across as confident, that goes a longer way with a hiring manager than somebody who has been to President's Club 10 times and a ton of experience. If that person shows up and they're nervous and not all that confident, they're not going to get the job, regardless of experience and accolades. Confidence is number one. Are you coachable? Are you coachable? Especially if you're just trying to break into tech sales. You need to come across as coachable. And we'll talk about how you could do that further along in the video here. And then, are you prepared? Are you prepared? And I don't want to spend time talking about preparation in this video because this should be table stakes. But if you're not doing 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half of preparation before a hiring manager interview, not an HR interview, but a hiring manager interview, what are you doing? What are you doing? Read the 10K reports if it's a public company. Read news articles. Read the case studies. Interview current SDRs or account executives. And use all that intel during the conversation. Sprinkle those things that you find out during the conversation. And prepared, the sales plan shows that you're prepared better than anybody else. Now, a couple other ways to take the lead. Let me just go back up here for a second, guys. So if I was saying this to a hiring manager, I would tweak it a little bit. I would say, hey, listen, glad we could connect. Would it be helpful to get the conversation going if I walk you through what I've been up to the past 4 to 5 years and share why I'm interested in working at your company? And Chris, it might be a bit of overkill for today's conversation. I did send this to you, not sure if you saw it, but I put together a sales plan based on what I know about you guys, the role from conversations I've had with folks on your team. Happy to walk you through it to see how far off I am or accurate if you think it would be relevant for today's conversation. That's it. A couple other ways to take the lead. If you're an SDR, I did some research and found 10 prospects that fit your ICP. I have the prospects' mobile numbers, and I'm prepared to cold call them. You against me putting my phone on speaker and making these dials? Interested in any feedback you have to improve my pitch and process. Unprovoked. I'm going to them to say I'm prepared to do the job I'm interviewing for. I did research. I have 10 prospects. I have their mobile numbers. Let's go. Or if you're an account executive, this one's just based on research, proxy statements. You build out a point of view and you're looking to present that to see if you're off base or not. Unprovoked. Nobody else is doing this. They're sitting back and waiting to answer questions. That is it. Now, questions you could expect. This is my sales interview system. I think it's like $45 right now. So this is what I used when I was unemployed for a little bit to keep myself organized. You can see all my sales plans here throughout my interviews. But if I pop into a random company, within this, you get access to questions you could expect. So for for a hiring manager interview, you could expect lots of sales process questions. So let me just go through some of these here. Why can't I? Bear with me for a second here, guys. Pop back here. Should be able to click on these and walk through some of them. There we go. What's your process for preparing for a discovery call or demo? Obviously, these are going to vary if you're an SDR or AE. How do you prioritize your leads and manage your pipeline? What does the structure of a good cold call look like? You can definitely expect that if you're gunning for an SDR role. How do you identify and qualify prospects? What is your strategy for cold outreach? So these are some of the questions you could expect from a sales process perspective. Let's just see what other questions I have in here. And these are just questions I've been asked over the years. Here's some behavioral ones you could expect. Prepare your stories. Misinterpreted a prospect's needs. I'm not going to walk through all of these. If you want access to all of them, sorry guys, you're going to have to buy the template here. And then it has a lot of questions down here as well from a story perspective. Also, key, they will ask about past performance. What if you missed quota in the past? Here's how to answer that question.
Next question.
Yeah.
What was your performance in your last sales role?
Okay, let's assume for this question that I did not hit quota, because that's a tougher question to answer than if I did, and I did consistently in my role. But if I didn't hit quota, this is how I would answer that question. So Amanda, my goal was X. I sold Y. That put me at 82% to my quota for the year. I sold X amount of deals, which I was able to hit the number of deals that I needed to overachieve my quota. However, my average deal size was not where it needed to be. Here's why that was the case. And then I'll provide some details in terms of maybe a mistake or two I made, whether it was discovery, whatever it was, as to why my average deal size wasn't where it needed to be, where I needed to hit quota. Then you want to provide some context. Now, in terms of where I was stacked ranked on the team, Amanda, there's 12 total account executives on my team. I finished third. In terms of the distribution, 60% of our team finished below 50%, 3 finished above 75%. Obviously, I was one of them. The top rep finished at 95%. There were a few challenges that hit our team this year as to why none of us were to hit quota. And you want to share what those challenges are. Now, you don't want them to be excuses. Like, take ownership, but you don't want it to come across like, oh, they gave me a quota that I had no chance of hitting, yada, yada, yada. Don't do that, but have, 2 to 3 challenges that hit the team, and then maybe how you would address those challenges better going forward to become the top rep on the team. And then I would end it like this. Now, my goal obviously every year is to finish number 1. I finished 3. So the 82% was an okay performance. It's not where I need to be. Here are 3 things I'm going to ensure I make changes on in my next role to make sure when I do ramp up, I have a good shot to become the number 1 rep on the team. And share those in a bit of detail. You need to know your numbers because they're going to try to poke holes and ask a lot of follow-up questions around your numbers. Now, your answers to their questions, this illustrates it perfectly, need to be specific and detailed. I prospected into mid-market accounts. What the heck does that mean? I don't know what mid-market accounts is. Mid-market can be different for every company. I booked X meetings from outbound and closed Y logos at X amount in 12 months, and this is exactly how I did it. That's how you answer questions. You need to be as specific and detailed as possible. Don't leave anything to chance. Don't leave anything up to chance because you're being vague. Be specific. Also, understand why the hiring manager, the VP of sales, is asking a question. Because if you don't understand the why, you might not get the answer correctly. You might not answer exactly what they're looking for or give them what they're looking for. So this walks through it exactly. Tell me about your experience as a sales rep at X company. Take a step back. When hiring managers like yourself ask this question, they're usually looking to clarify a few things: skills, attitudes, impact. Which one were you hoping we'd tackle first? Take a step back and understand what's important to them so you can answer the question correctly. Just little tips. Now, hot take alert. The questions you ask are far more important than the answers, your answers to their questions. Think about it. You're interviewing for a sales role. As a salesperson, we're paid the big bucks to ask questions. More importantly than answering questions. So if you're not coming to the table with well-researched, specific, detailed questions for them, and it's just boring questions like everyone else asks, you're not going to get the job. And the questions that you should be focusing on are the hard-hitting questions to make sure the job is a good one. Red flag questions. What percentage of the team is hitting quota? Are quotas based on historical data and how often do reps hit or exceed? What would be my assigned territory? Can you walk me through what that territory looks like? Why is the territory open? Most of the time, here we go. A territory is open because it isn't great. Is that the case here? So you want to be asking these hard-hitting questions to verify, is this a good fit for you? They're interviewing you, yes, to see if you're a good fit for them, but you're interviewing them to see if they're a good fit for you, because if you get a job there and you don't ask these questions, you might be screwed and out in the market looking for a new job 6 months from now because your territory or the product absolutely sucked. So these questions get to the core of that. Ask the red flag questions. And then for this interview, you're going to close it out. Here's just another way to close it out. When you think of your highest performing SDRs, what are the qualities or traits they exhibit that consistently has them outperforming their peers? And as you can see here, guys, whatever they say doesn't matter. You're just using this for leverage to close out that interview the right way. Perfect. Well, hopefully I've been able to exemplify at least a few of those today. With that said, is there any reason you feel this wouldn't be a good fit or concerns on your end I could further touch on? And then shut up and let them come to you with those objections, those hesitations, so you could handle them head on. If you don't close out this way, probably going to get ghosted. Then you're going to send a thank you note like you sent to the person in recruiting or HR. And then unprovokingly, proactively, you're going to send or have 2 references send an email like this that walk through in context your relationship with me, the sales candidate, 3 reasons why they should hire you, the sales candidate, and not look back, and then provide some sort of constructive criticism on that person, the sales candidate, as a salesperson, skill gaps, because we're not all perfect and they want to hear the good and the bad. And then, happy to connect on a call to talk further about Matt as a potential candidate joining your company. This is a tip that I use to get my current role that I learned right before I got my current role. Killer tip. I forget who it was that taught me about this. Doesn't matter. But send a thank you note and have 2 references proactively. Send an email on your behalf and make sure you're BCC'd. You don't want to be CC'd on this email, but you want to see that it was sent. 3, let me close some of this stuff out here. It's getting kind of busy. 3, I hate this round, guys. It's the role play. For an SDR, it's going to be a mock cold call. For an AE, it's going to be a mock discovery call. They're not looking for it to be perfect. They're looking for you to be coachable. If you screw up, own it, laugh about it, don't take it too seriously. Ask for some feedback and ask to do it again, whether it's a mock cold call or a mock discovery call. I do have templates built out for you guys in the sales interview system. If I could find it here, mock cold call. So pretty much the script's already built out for you. Just plug and play, objections ready to go. And then mock discovery call as well. How I'd run that call to impress the folks I'm meeting with. So if you have one of these coming up, this could potentially help. I have lots of content on the YouTube channel walking throughout a cold call and run a discovery call. You could use that for free. Or again, if you want to use this, you could buy it. $45. Not that much money. 4th and final round, VP of Sales. Easy interview, guys. They're simply looking for and making sure you're a culture fit. If you made it to this round, if you made it this far, they like you. They believe you could do the job. They just want to make sure the VP of Sales likes you and you're a culture fit. And the questions you ask the VP of Sales have to be different than the questions you ask, or should be different than the questions you ask a direct hiring manager. These questions should be more on the macro level of the sales environment than the micro that you're asking to the hiring manager that I walked through a couple minutes ago. And for this one, it's using assumptive close. I'm having trouble talking. It's been a long day. Awesome, Chris. I really enjoyed the interview process. When can I start? You're assuming you're getting the offer. Just a different way to close out that interview the right way as a salesperson. Now, you got the offer. It's time to negotiate. Now, I want to make sure you're not getting screwed. SDRs, the median base salary is 55, OT 85. SMB, AE, they're closing deals 20,000 and below. Salary 70, OT 130. Mid-market 85, 165. Enterprise AE, the big boys, 130 base, 260 OTA. If you get a job offer and your base salary or your OTA is below these numbers, it's time to start negotiating. It's time to start negotiating. Awesome. I'm super excited about joining the team. Based on my experience and research, I was expecting an offer in the range of X to Y. Any chance there is room to adjust the base salary to reflect that? And for me, guys, when I value base salary a lot more than OTE, because OTE most of the time means off-target earnings, not on-target earnings. In tech sales right now, the average quota attainment I think is like, I don't even think it's 40%. It's completely ridiculous right now. Now, if they can't budge on the base, I understand if the base salary is firm. Would it be a ridiculous idea? I know oriented question. To explore an increase in commission percentage, signing bonus, or additional benefits such as equity or PTO. You got to get something. If they're chipping or are jipping you on the base salary, you need to get something out of them. If they aren't going to budge, they don't value you, go somewhere else where they value you. And just a few things to negotiate on. If they can't increase the base salary, for me, I'm negotiating on better accelerators. Accelerators are what you get paid. So let's say, for example, guys, I'm paid $1 for every dollar I close. Just a simple example. Stick with me here. After you hit your quota, you get into accelerators. So that dollar is worth 2.5. Increase the accelerators for me. If you have another offer, awesome. I'm super excited about joining the team. I have a competing offer at X. They have, better base commission benefits. I'd accept the offer today if we could get closer to that number. What are the chances there's flexibility to adjust the offer? Just giving you guys some different language and words and phraseology to use when negotiating these offers and when to accept or walk away. Know what your number is, guys. Know what your number is. Thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you guys got some value from it. I think the sales interview system can help you. Higher levels can help you too. You can check out them, link in the description. This environment right now is competitive, but I think doing some secret tactics like the ones I walked through in this video can certainly help. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.